2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, sitting alongside the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, and the prop plane, Kenny Smith. Tonight, we'll see the Charlotte Hornets playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Checking out Oklahoma City, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. Some teams fast out of the gate, others not so lucky. Kenny, for the teams that have started slowly, how do they turn the tide?
You know what? About a week ago, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I was like, when that happens, you can't panic. The season's just begun. Identify the real problems before you start tinkering on things.
Sometimes a lineup change can help. Things may just have to work themselves out, though.
Time now for tip-off. We get it to Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
We are in Charlotte, North Carolina, as we get ready for this interconference contest right here. And get ready for another dose of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Hello, everyone. With Chris Webber and Greg Anthony, I'm Kevin Harlan. We'll be hearing from our Hall of Famer on the sideline, David Aldridge. You look at the Thunder. Well, compared to last season, you'd have to say the start to this season has not been quite what you'd expect. They hope to improve their record with a win tonight, certainly.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they've had their chances to kind of separate themselves from the pack this season, but so far they haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, every time it looks like they're ready to make a step forward, something goes wrong.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, guys, we know Russell Westbrook is a fearsome competitor, but he says you never know how long you'll be able to run like this or jump like this, so I go for it every time. I may look angry, but it's the only way I know. Yes, you look angry. Kevin?
Yeah, he's special, D.A., absolutely. Thanks. And, you know, Chris, it's early, of course, but a few veteran players seeing dips in their individual production. And there has been some talk. There has been some concern about that.
Yeah, but even for veterans, it could take a while to get into a groove. It's the beginning of the season. You still have to find your way, new teammates, new concepts. And if a player's role on the team has changed, that can affect his production. I mean, look at a guy like Melo last year, going to a different situation. Do you sacrifice by shooting less? Do you sacrifice by shooting more? Because some guys are out of position, out of sorts, and out of their comfortable areas or their comfortable norms of playing. And so, yeah, it takes a lot, whether you're a rookie or a veteran. It really doesn't matter. This game can throw monkey wrenches at you in all type of areas, and it's how you adjust. So it's not about the start. It's how you identify what you need to do to get better, and then do it, and then see how that adjustment is working.
Yeah, Anthony's a good example. You're right. Now the opening lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Inside pairing is Grant and Adams. Westbrook and Robertson, the backcourt. And it's George in at the three, the small forward. And he slams it in.
Oh, and look at how well he led him in there. Really, he passed him open for that deuce.
Walker against Westbrook, and stolen by Zeller. A little over a minute gone here in the first quarter. And Lamb kicks to Batum. Floats one, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line. That one on George.
And the athleticism and fearlessness of Batum inside is exceptional, really testing the defense deep in the paint.
Now, gentlemen, two shots. Move shots.
The first one falls.
Oh, look, the multi-talented Batum. He has all the skills. He has the strength, the length, the athleticism. I mean, for him, it's all about staying aggressive on both ends of the floor.
And both free throws good for Nicholas Batum. And Chris, some people feel Batum should take over games more than he does.
Well, he certainly has the talent. But then again, every team needs great complementary pieces too, and that's what he is. You just have to decide who you want to be.
Nobody near George. No good with the triple. We've seen a quick start here for the Hornets. It's a 5-point game, and going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year.
Yeah, interconference matchup. Two teams that'll see each other only twice on the schedule.
And that makes it interesting. They don't know each other all that well, so we should see a lot of in-game adjustments.
Here's George, following the basket by Jeremy Lamb, and stolen by Zeller. Walker against Westbrook. Outside, Walker. Hernangomez in the corner. Lamb finds Batum. 5 on the clock. And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That is his first foul of the game. Now, here is Hernangomez. 6 to shoot. Low block shot. Outside for Batum. Great touch on the 16-footer. Batum's got 7.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Walker against Westbrook. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a 3-point play. It's on Nicholas Batum.
And you know Westbrook has an outstanding vertical. Once he gets to the launching pad, rim, beware.
The Thunder went into free agency with a lot of question marks, but ended having a big summer.
Able to retain Paul George, and that was the first and largest key. Getting a player like Noel for cheap was also a big help for this group. The Thunder were at a fork in the road last season, but this team now as dangerous as ever.
Now here's Walker. He had a 30-point outing their last game against Miami. Shot from the top of the key. The rebound by Grant.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
It's stolen by Lamb, and Jeremy Grant picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Hornets leading by 6. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. And Walker kicks to Batum. Charlotte needs to get a shot up.
It's an awkward pass to try to make on the interior.
Here's George. He drains the quick shot.
And the mid-range jumper really right in George's comfort zone. When he isn't blowing by guys and finishing at the rim, he's knocking that one down with consistency.
Now here's Lamb. His last outing, we saw him pour in 22. Walker the pass to Batum. Releases. Hits the front of the rim and out. Thunder trailing by 4. No good from Grant.
Even that close to the bucket, that's a very tough finish in that kind of traffic.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Noel's checked in. Passes it to Hernangomez. Zeller dishes to Batum. Walker with it. Westbrook picks him up. Walker looking for an opening. Over Westbrook. Zeller trying to free himself up. Charlotte again missing. The Thunder have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Outside Batum. Can they get it? The shot will not fall. George with the defensive effort. Always going up for the alley-oop here. Robertson can't hit.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
Well, a good attempt to try to finish that alley-oop. Still should have went for something better than that, though.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets.
Yeah, another first-year head coach who came up through the ranks as an assistant. James Borrego had been an interim head coach for the Magic in 2015, but he was quickly told that the permanent job would not be his.
And a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. Taking a look at Toronto, they've climbed all the way up to the second spot.
And right now, the Thunder, they were obviously hoping to start out better. Still, too soon to panic. But lately, they've had very little luck and seem to be trending in the wrong direction.
And talking about Borrego, leaving Orlando, and in some ways turned out to be a blessing.
You're right, Kevin. I mean, he spent the next few years in San Antonio as an assistant to Popovich. His second stint as an assistant with the Spurs. The first time around, though, he was part of a two-time championship team. This man has winning in his genes. And for the Hornets, after last year's debacle, it's a whole new world. I mean, think about a new GM, new head coach, and a fresh outlook on things.
And talking about the Hornets, they really expected to make the playoffs last season, but Chris, I think they were shocked that it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they felt good about their free agent signings. I mean, they felt good about the draft, but coming together as one complete unit, that's easier said than done.
He's off on the first.
No, that was just a focal point for the Hornets last season. Create more space on the offensive end. The result, they shot the ball really well from three, but their efficiency inside the arc dropped dramatically.
Now here's Walker. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Here's Hernangomez. And that one goes long. And here's George. He'll bring it up for Oklahoma City. They trail by 6.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
That's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
And looking at the Hornets offense, it's not like they shoot a lot of threes. They were just extremely accurate.
Well, Kevin, that's something they worked on in practice. I mean, taking good shots out on the perimeter. And for the younger guys, the shot just became more consistent. I mean, but ultimately, it couldn't save them in the win-loss column.
Bridges, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. Charlotte leading by 3. Lamb with the ball. Here's Walker. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass.
And for a guy who only stands 6'1", Walker can be a strong finisher in the painted area.
Robertson finds Westbrook. There's the foul. It's on Jeremy Lamb. That's his first foul. Dennis Schroeder's checked in for Oklahoma City. Now Noel. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Clippers. Schroeder passes to Noel, and Noel throws it down.
Good movement there, and the lead pass was right where it needed to be.
Here's Walker. The pass to Lamb. Now, here's Bridges. He's covered by Westbrook. Bridges kicks to Lamb. Clock at 6. Takes a 3. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
It's been a really tough quarter for him. I mean, he cannot get his shots to drop.
And Adams with the slam.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Now, here's Bridges. No points in the game yet for him. Hernangomez in the corner. Outside, Walker. Knocks down the 3 ball.
Well, the shooter of Walker's caliber, I mean, you can't allow him to shoot with his feet set.
Thunder trailing by 4. And here's Westbrook. Really played well against the Clippers in his last outing.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Now here's Lamb. He's covered by Westbrook. Now here's Lamb. Here's Hernangomez. It's hauled in by George. For Oklahoma City, they've gone 7 of 11 from the field to begin the game. And the dunk by Westbrook.
And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up the powerful alley-oop dunk. And a tremendous Unleash Chaos replay coming to you courtesy of Under Armour Hover Havoc. And the Hornets call time here. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of Miami.
Tough night. I mean, they attacked on both ends, and unfortunately for them, they just got called for a lot of fouls.
No question. The officials were active, trying to keep control of the game that affected the substitution pattern.
So an almost entirely new group in now for Charlotte. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is checked in for Cody Zeller. Williams comes in for Hernangomez. Monk's checked in for Lamb. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Kemba Walker. And Oklahoma City also making a switch. Patterson's checked in.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
And it's Schroeder missing.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
Well, that just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result.
The offensive rebound. Thunder have gotten 8 of their 13 shots to find the bottom of the bucket. He feeds it to Westbrook. It's deflected.
Now, the length of Kidd-Gilchrist, that's what allows him to catch up with these shots. A sensational shot blocker from behind. Now, how about the potential of Malik Monk? I mean, tremendous prospect. He's an excellent shooter from distance and should become more consistent as he improves his strength.
The first free throw is good. And Monk, a dangerous scorer, but still has work to do, Chris, on the defensive end.
Well, some of it's his effort. I mean, some of it's his awareness. I mean, Monk's still learning what it takes to be a pro. He won't maximize his minutes until he's a factor on both ends of the court.
Both good from the line that time.
And once he gets into a groove like that, you can just count him.
Oklahoma City trailing. Left side, Westbrook.
Jumped out of the gym.
And guys, that's not as easy as he made it look. You've got to have some skills to pull that off.
Well, he's got plenty of those, that's for sure. Now here's Kidd-Gilchrist. Monk, no one around him, drills the three-pointer. Monk's got 5.
That's the awareness that Kidd-Gilchrist has out there. Excellent at knowing where the open man is.
Here's Patterson. But he recovers it. To the paint. He's looking for Noel and finds him. That one goes. Count it.
I mean, you can see the D just a little slow getting to the bucket. I mean, he'll make you pay for that.
Here's Parker. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Kicks it to Monk. 6 on the shot clock. Bridges against Schroeder. Bridges misses. And it's Westbrook with the ball. He brings it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They trail by 1. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. Charlotte shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Shooting 2.
That free throw, no good. Big-time scoring is always a premium, Chris, when you're evaluating players on the offensive side. What do you hope to find as you kind of break down their game?
I hope to find that you can dribble, shoot, and pass. Because if you can do those things and you're a great scorer, then I know that if you get double-teamed, you can find an open man. That if you have the heart of an unselfish player, that you're willing to think 2-3 plays ahead of how to set someone else up that's struggling. Because a great player can always get their own. And also on the offensive side of the ball, are you careless? Or do you value possessions? Do you make easy turnovers? And if you do make a turnover in the offensive end, What is your temperature like defensively? Will you run back and get back and try to get a stop? What type of player are you overall? Great offensive players are result-oriented, not necessarily seeking individual numbers or acclaim, and that's a big part of my evaluation.
Now Parker. Paul George missing from long range. On the wing, Williams. Patterson defending. Bridges, no one around him. Off target from three-point range. Oklahoma City has gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. Patterson, that's good.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Parker against Schroeder. Parker dishes to Monk. Offline with his three. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Pass to Parker. Teardrop shot. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. Pass to Bridges. Charlotte moving the ball around. High, arcing shot. Westbrook pulls it in.
Look, you can't defend down low much better than that. Refuses to give him an easy path to the bucket.
Love the attitude of Westbrook. Continues to improve at running the offense and finding ways to create opportunities for his teammates.
Russell Westbrook has been leading the charge for the Oklahoma City Thunder, setting up teammates and getting buckets. He is looking as determined as ever, and we'll be right back after this. The leadership of Russell Westbrook is so important to the team, and Steven Adams talked about what it means to him.
He's doing just an unbelievable job at just controlling the guys, controlling the game, making sure that everyone's feeling in the right mood to play and willing to sacrifice for one another.
You know, so much of leadership is that emotional component, motivating guys to give their all.
And Russ certainly leads by example with his competitive zeal, but he understands also he's got to bring his teammates with him.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen so far from the Thunder, guys.
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Yeah, closing down the lane, closing out on perimeter shooters. Interesting first quarter.
Parker and Monk, that's their backcourt. Batuma's out there with Williams, and it's Kid Gilchrist in at the center, locking down the middle. So that's the Hornets 5. Hornets trail by 5. Monk with the ball. 11 points for him in that last game against Miami.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
Patterson can't get it to go.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
The Thunder leading by 5. He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kemba Walker helped lead UConn to a national title, but it took some time to hit his stride at the NBA level. He finally became an all-star, but his team is rebuilding in Charlotte. Mitch Kupchak is the new general manager, and James Borrego is the new head coach. Guys?
A terrific player, D.A., for sure. Thanks. Schroeder looking over the floor. Dishes it to Felton. Fires from the wing. That one off the back iron and out.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Looking here at some numbers for Batum. Last season's performance for him averaged about 11 points a game, 5 assists and 4 rebounds. And, guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
First free throw is good. Always a solid all-around player. Marvin Williams' improvement from range has made him a little more dangerous.
Well, think about this. Over his first 3 seasons, he shot under 30% from distance. That's not good. But in recent seasons, he shot over 40% a couple times. That's great. That'll keep you relevant in today's game.
And Williams drops them both.
It's been a really good day for him at the line. Some other bigs have well-documented problems on their free throws. He's not one of them.
And Robertson has it in the corner. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Robertson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And the Hornets with possession here. Following this one, they get to host the Cavaliers. And that'll be the 3rd of the 4 straight at home. Parker kicks to Williams. Pass to Monk. Now Batum. Shot clock at 6. Softly drops in the floater. Batum's got 12.
And really, Batum is so adept at draining these shots off the drive, using his speed and athletic frame to easily coast to the rim.
Felton against Parker. There's the pass to Grant. Felton deciding where to go with it. Back to Grant. The shot. The Hornets pull it in.
The D a little slow to get in his face. They're fortunate it didn't cost them.
To the middle. Here's Robertson. And it goes down 2 points. Robertson's got his second basket of the night.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Outside, Batum. Parker outside. Pocket 6. To the inside. Here's Monk. No good on the 3.
He'll be beating himself up if they can't come back because he is not carrying his weight at the offensive end.
Felton against Williams. Here's Grant. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Grant's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. On the wing, Batum. And it's Kid Gilchrist penetrating, and he drops in the way up off the glass.
You have to love how Kid Gilchrist isn't afraid of working his way down inside, using his tremendous size to his advantage.
Parker against Felton. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. That one on Parker. For Oklahoma City, they have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight.
One of the worst in the league a season ago, just 72%.
And the first one drops. Chris, when you played against a team that you had played on before, did you feel any extra motivation to do well against them?
Always. They always got the business. Whether it was I left Golden State and went to Washington, had to give them a triple-double and 40 there. Whether it was after I left Washington, had to come back and give them a triple-double.
Yeah.
And beat them bad and hug the crowd after. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of motivation. You definitely want to make sure you give your ex-team the business and make them regret, at least for, the 24 hours until the next game, that they let you go.
I love that thought process. It's fun. A shot by Batum, no good.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Felton against Walker. Felton finds Adams. A second chance effort. And stolen by Zella. The kick out to Walker. Charlotte getting another chance here. Shot's good by Hernan Gomez. And Gomez has got his second bucket of the game to go.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
It can be discouraging, frustrating, but you only have yourselves to blame. Box out.
To the wing right side. Adams, the pass to Felton. Here's Robertson. And he can't extend the lead to double digits. It's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for the Charlotte Hornets. Batum wide open. He fires. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Batum's got 15 points.
He's doing some good work from long range. I mean, he had 2 threes in the first quarter, and now he's got 1 in the second.
There's the foul. It's on Jeremy Lamb. That'll be his second foul of the game.
He better watch it. He doesn't want to pick up a third foul before halftime.
Feeds it to Felton. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. Felton's got 4 points now in the quarter.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Pass to Hernan Gomez. Shoots over Grant. Hernan Gomez, no good.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over.
Here's Robertson. Good. A nice assist from Felton. Felton's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
Now Lamb. Tipped away. And here is Grant. Now here's Felton. And Robertson has it in the corner. Here's Walker. He has 5. He kicks it to Zeller. Back to Walker. Here's Robertson. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. And 6'7" swingman Andre Robertson out of the University of Colorado, one of the league's premier defensive specialists.
And Kevin, there's a reason he started for most of his career, and it has nothing to do with his shooting. Now returning from that ruptured patella tendon, will he regain that elite defensive form? Only time will tell.
2 shots. Last on the first.
And he makes the first. Some call it the Ewing theory, teams that play better without relying on a star player. But Chris, how sustainable is that?
It's not sustainable. It's real cute until you have the teams that are focused and want to win come in. And usually that Ewing theory, that's usually like in the 5th week of the season or before All-Star break when teams are figuring out themselves. Once everybody has identified their strengths and their weaknesses, you need that horse to ride. You need that big hoss in there, that guy that's dependable every night. And as long as he's a willing passer, unselfish player, no, you need those guys. I don't believe that teams are better without their main guy. Maybe for short stretches, players can rally, but you look at championship winners, I'm trying to think of one that didn't have a superstar on their roster. I just don't buy into that theory.
Charlotte calls timeout. And Greg Paul George, the league leader in steals and deflections in 2018.
And Frank Vogel, who coached him at Indiana, said he always thought PG had Allen Iverson's instincts in Scottie Pippen's body. He's talented enough to disrupt without gambling.
And just who is providing all the playmaking here tonight? Let's look at the breakdown between the front and backcourt for Oklahoma City.
This backcourt is really shouldering the load in terms of the ball movement and great assists. When you look at the overall contributions compared to the bigs, nice work on distributing the ball.
Bridges kicks to Zeller. Outside, Walker. Just 5 to shoot. Got a piece of it. And that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession.
And let's check out stats for Westbrook. Last season, he played outstanding. Last season, he chipped in about 25 per, 10 assists and 10 rebounds. And you like what he brings backing up the point guard.
Yeah, no doubt. He knows how to run this offense. He's a tremendous asset to this team coming off the bench.
Here's Batum. 15 points in the game.
And haven't really been that sharp from beyond the arc. And they're only getting worse as we get closer to halftime.
Here's Westbrook. A beautiful reverse layup. Westbrook's got 15 points.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Batum scanning the floor. Kicks it to Bridges. Back to Batum. That's tipped. Paul George with the steal. And now a fast break for the Thunder. Doesn't get it to drop for him. Now Charlotte takes it the other way. Hernangomez passes to Bridges. Over George. And it doesn't even draw iron.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Walker against Westbrook. Outside, Batum. Back to Walker. Westbrook with the steal. Here we go, all alone. The finish and the dunk by Robertson.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Yeah, guys, and the finish is the perfect capper. I mean, taking it all the way to the 10.
Hernangomez passes to Bridges. The kick out to Walker. 6 to shoot. There's the double team with Westbrook. Zeller finds Batum. They need this. Russell Westbrook with the rebound.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Yeah, going up against a big run, trying to mount one of your own. I mean, it's exhausting and takes a tremendous amount of energy here.
Adams with the slam.
And great effort on the boards, and what a mean that was, Cal. I mean, you just will not see him ever quit on a play.
That guy is a handful. You've got to have a body on him at all times.
Yeah, fellas, he's a monster. He's never seen an offensive rebound he didn't think he could get to.
Dennis Schroeder's checked in for Russell Westbrook. And so here's Charlotte. 19-point game.
Just so precise off the pass. I like how Bridges prepares himself to shoot as the ball is coming his way.
The drive by Schroeder. Tries again. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%. 5 for 7. The Hornets shooting a pretty low 34% thus far. Inside. And the dunk by Zeller.
Wow, wonderful court awareness that time. You can count on Walker to find the open man.
And it's Oklahoma City's ball. They're on a 17-5 run here. Here's Schroeder. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
Yeah, that's just poor decision making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Well, I'd love to hear his explanation of coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
Bridges kicks to Batum. 4 on the shot clock. Goes back up. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Here's George. No good there. And it's the Hornets taking it the other way.
Now look, if he can start turning some of these misses into makes, their lead is going to take a big jump.
Batum for 3. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Adams. 16 seconds left to play in the first half. Schroeder against Walker. 5 to shoot. From deep. No good that time.
Just testing out the cannon on that misfire.
Yeah, way beyond the arc on that play. It's the kind of shot he can make, but not necessarily the one you want.
And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks. Billy, balanced scoring for your team. How pleased are you with the way they're keeping everybody involved offensively?
Well, those guys, I think, have done a really good job of moving the ball and sharing the ball, and they're finding open men and they're willing passers, and I think because of that, they've been efficient offensively.
Open shots tend to be made. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime, so we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq, Jet. It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He ended up with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
Man, that was just Russell Westbrook making people look bad. Explosive, going in either direction, going over people, really no good way to defend him. All that's left for him now is just to become the best leader possible, and he's well on his way.
And big fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
They were not running an efficient offense. The shot selection has to improve. It's as simple as that. Too many guys working as individuals, not as a team. They need to work as a unit, Ernie. Move the ball.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks
Goodbye,
for joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. Well, you look at Russell Westbrook in this game, he has been everywhere.
And through the first 2 periods, it seemed he got to the paint whenever he wanted to, just a slasher's mentality.
Yeah, when you're trying to check a guy like that, you have to move your feet laterally, defensively. That didn't happen.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. And on the floor for Billy Donovan as we get into the second half. Robertson and George fill out the wings. Noel is out there with Adams, and it's Westbrook in at the point guard position.
No question he got bumped on that shot.
He's made 3 of his 4 free throw attempts in the game.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Westbrook. And he makes both free throws. Walker with it. Pass to Lamb. Fires from 14. And the rebound goes to the Thunder. Adams has got double-digit rebounds now in the game. George. And he drops in the layup off the glass. George has got 6 points.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Walker against Westbrook, and the shot is good. And it's 7 points for Walker.
With this shot area quickness, Walker can usually carve out space from mid-range.
Westbrook passes to Adams, and Kemba Walker is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And Oklahoma City making a change here. Grant's checked in. Westbrook finds Adams. Hornets with the rebound. Gomez has got his 7th rebound here tonight. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That's foul number 2 for him. At the elbow, Zeller. Walker with a clean look. And a miss there on the triple. Oklahoma City leading by 18. George dishes to Westbrook. Grant outside. Passes it to Robertson. Shot clock at 5. Count it. Good. Westbrook's got 4 points this quarter.
Like how confident Westbrook is close to the rim. Gets high off the ground and releases his shot quickly.
Here's Walker. And he drops it in from the low post. He's got 9.
I like that pick play. I mean, you can see how easily it makes it for him to get to the cup.
Kemba Walker continuing the fine tradition of New York point guards. He should not go unmentioned when you talk about the NBA's best ball handlers.
Will not go. This is off the front iron. For Oklahoma City, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. And stolen by Zeller. Outside, Batum. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. No coverage that time. And that's now 11 points for Walker. And without a doubt, Kemba Walker, one of the league's most entertaining players.
And enlisted at 6'1", and that might be a stretch, but he uses it to his advantage, staying low and almost dancing when he's out there attacking defenders. And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Oh, yeah, up by double digits. They're trying to keep the momentum, keep the foot on the neck. That's his focus right now.
And the Hornets call time here.
And he has not been on his game here. He's forcing a lot of shots, and the team is suffering because of it. It's time for him to focus on getting his teammates involved.
Marvin Williams is checked in for Gomez. And Oklahoma City with a change here, too. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Andre Robertson. Hornets trail by 19. Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Lamb up top. He's covered by Felton. And Zeller kicks to Batum. Over George. Off the left rim and out. And it's Westbrook with the ball. He brings it up for Oklahoma City. Their defense has only allowed 6 points in the second half. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
Shooting one.
For Oklahoma City, they have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
The free throw drops for Grant.
And the combination of athleticism and defense Grant brings is superb. A guy who you can depend on to compete.
And Walker kicks to Williams. Shoots over Grant. On the money with the open jumper. 6 points for Williams. Oklahoma City leading by 20. Now George. He's got 9. Again, the Thunder score.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
And it's Walker penetrating. Fails to score here. He has made 5 of 12 to this point.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive. And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantages they hold in this game.
Shot from 12. And the rebound goes to the Thunder. And here's Westbrook. He's got 19. Adams outside. Ball's knocked loose. Westbrook feeling it out a bit. Takes it from 10. And again, it's Oklahoma City.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Well, it takes a lot of confidence and toughness to make that play.
Batum against George. Back to Walker. Pulls up on the wing, and that's good for 2. Walker's got 8 here in the quarter.
Well, for a player the size of Kemba Walker, hitting that jumper becomes crucial. Luckily, that's what he does.
It's Westbrook with the drive, nabbing another steal. And that's his 6th steal of the night.
Imposing his will at the defensive end.
Here's Williams. Westbrook pulls it in. Westbrook's got his 5th rebound in this one. To the paint, here's Adams. Back to Westbrook. Shoots over Walker. Oklahoma City the rebound. Felton kicks to Grant. And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. And the Hornets making a change here. Monk's checked in. Patrick Patterson. He's checked in for Oklahoma City. Alex Abrinas comes in for George. Hornets have gone 5 of 12 from the field since the 3rd quarter got underway. Back to Walker. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Walker's got 10 points here in the second half. Felton kicks to Westbrook. On his 15th shot attempt, he makes his 9th basket, shooting a healthy 60% tonight.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Shot's good by Walker.
Again, Walker gets it going. He's tenacious. Feels like he could take on anyone.
Bounce pass, Felton. Here's Westbrook, and that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Felton has got 6 assists now in the game. Hornets have gotten half their shots to drop in the second half up to this point, going 7 of 14. Now here's Lamb. He's guarded closely. Good work there as it goes.
And this is one of the things Lamb does best, scoring off the pick and roll.
Oklahoma City leading by 22. Grant, right side. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Grant's got 5 points in the quarter. For Charlotte, they've gone better than 53% from the floor since halftime, shooting 8 of 15. And it's Walker penetrating. A terrific all-around player. Walker's improvement from range, Chris, has taken his game to another level.
Oh, yeah, he was much better inside the arc when he entered the league. But over his first 4 seasons, he shot around 31% from 3. Then something clicked. Now, he's a factor.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
And the first one at the line is good.
An electrifying scorer. Walker, he'll burn you in so many ways.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is checked in for Charlotte. Bridges comes in for Lamb. Nerlens Noel checks in for the Thunder. Dennis Schroeder comes in for Raymond Felton. And so Walker nails both of them. Now here's Schroeder. Out to the right wing. Takes the 3. Oklahoma City keeping it alive with the new 24-second shot clock.
He has them reeling. They haven't had an answer for him this quarter.
Schroeder against Walker. There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. That's his first foul. Tony Parker's checked in for the Hornets. Oklahoma City on D. Bridges passes to Williams. He kicks it to Bridges. Shot clock at 6. Charlotte gets it back. Poked away. Parker inside. He's covered by Westbrook. Bridges misses.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Here's Parker. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Outside, Walker. 6 on the shot clock, and it's good for 2.
He's really turned it around here in the second half. I mean, his offense has returned.
Oklahoma City leading by 22. Schroeder finds Westbrook. Back to Schroeder. Shot from 12. Westbrook, no good. And it's Kid Gilchrist with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Charlotte Hornets. Walker in the corner. Parker outside. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's on Dennis Schroeder.
You gotta love the intensity on that attack by Parker to draw the foul. He is a beast off the bounce.
2.
Free throw drops in for Tony Parker.
And what a career it's been for Tony Parker. 4 titles to his name, a finals MVP, 6-time All-Star. I mean, the accolades go on and on for what is truly one of the most impressive resumes you'll see in the NBA.
Charlotte making a switch here. Hernan Gomez is checked in. And for Tony Parker, will certainly go down as one of the greatest Spurs ever to put on a San Antonio uniform.
No doubt about it, Kevin. And it's strange to see him in any other uniform than a San Antonio Spurs. And he made a move in the offseason. And, you know, here's what he brings to this team. A lot of experience, championship pedigree, and a guy that I think could maybe help get this Hornets team over the hump.
For 3, Westbrook. It's rebounded by Kid Gilchrist. Kid Gilchrist has got 5 rebounds tonight. And the pass to Bridges. You know, watching Miles Bridges, he just brings so much energy to the team.
High motor guy, very aggressive. You know, a bit of a tweener, which in a positionless world could be a good thing. Explosive, strong, athletic. I think his best basketball is ahead of him.
And he knocks down the first one.
You know, what I love about Bridges is just the all-around game. He scores, rebounds, passes, and defends well, too. Just an exciting young prospect.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. The Thunder leading by 17. Schroeder kicks to Adams. And that time, also a missed shot.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim. No doubt that was a defensive mistake. You got to have a guy on him at all times.
Schroeder against Parker. Schroeder dishes to Westbrook. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. That's 29 points for Russell Westbrook.
as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan is simple, folks. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Westbrook against Bridges. Now here's Parker. Defense is right there. Over in the corner, Williams. Pass to Hernangomez. That one rolling around and rims out.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Here's Schroeder. And he uses the glass on the layup. Schroeder's got his second bucket tonight.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring. And this one couldn't have been any easier.
I mean, I don't know whether to say it's amazing or it's sad, but you're down double digits and you still allow an uncontested layup. Where is the pride? Where is your heart?
Here's Hernangomez. Adams, some nice D. The Thunder leading by 18. The drive by Schroeder. The shot's good from Robertson. Robertson's got 12.
That was all about the assist. Great pass to set up the shot.
Charlotte has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Williams looking over the floor. Here's Hernangomez. And it's Noel with the rebound. Schroeder against Parker. Schroeder passes to Noel. Schroeder finds Westbrook. Missed inside. And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder controlling the game and finishing the quarter with a 20-point lead. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We come back right after this. And let's take this opportunity now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And how about the floor generalship right here? I mean, showing us why they're always in good hands when he's the man in charge.
Great vision. He's a gifted passer. Has his finger on the pulse of this offense.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. Hornets trail by 20. We've got Parker. Hernangomez out there with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Then it's Bridges, and it's Batum in at the 2. So that's the lineup for Charlotte. And slam dunk by Kidd-Gilchrist.
And Kidd-Gilchrist is very skilled at throwing it down. The D can't allow him to get that close to the cup.
Schroeder with the ball. Outside for George. Kept alive. Here's Adams. Pass to Robertson from deep, from beyond the arc, and then some. And the Thunder lead by 21.
And piling on to that big lead, we know he has the range late on the defensive reaction.
I mean, yeah, you can't break down. Not now. Defensively, at this point, I mean, you're already too far in the hole.
Goes back up. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass, and that's one of the things he brings to the table.
Grant, he's checked in for Oklahoma City.
One shot. One shot.
And that one misses.
And Paul George, a terrific two-way player, an all-star, an all-NBA performer, and multiple all-defense selections.
And that one, good.
I mean, this D is a joke. It's way too passive. They got to get a body on him when he's on his way to the bucket.
Here's Parker. Charlotte again missing. And Paul George has made it a goal to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, he's got tremendous length and quickness, but really his pride at that end of the floor might matter even more. He just takes great pride in being a complete player.
Parker looking around. Passes it to Batum from past the arc, and the call will be against Hernangomez. That is his first foul of the game. And some changes here for the Hornets. Zeller, he's checked in for Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and it's Lamb in there for Bridges. Oklahoma City leading by 21. Schroeder outside, and Adams kicks to Robertson. Outside, George. Over Batum. And again, Oklahoma City, no good. Paul George with the steal. Here's Grant, got a hand on it.
And registering one of the highest verticals at the NBA Combine, Zeller can send your shot back.
Stolen by Grant. George fires. Here's Schroeder. Nails the baby hook. Schroeder's got 4 points this quarter.
He does not play the score. I mean, he's going to continue to work his tail off on the glass and make plays just like that.
That's part of what makes him a great player. His effort level always stays high.
On the wing, Batum. 6 on the shot clock. The 11-footer. And it's off the back rim. No good.
That's a great job to converge on him inside and prevent that easy look.
And there's the pass to Grant. On the wing, George. Defended by Batum. The shot by George, no good. For Charlotte, they've gone just 33% from the field in the fourth quarter so far. They are 2 of 6. Offensive rebound. And it's out of bounds to the Hornets as Charlotte retains possession. Kemba Walker is checked in for Parker. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for the Thunder. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. And here we go. Here's Grant, and there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. That's a foul on Charlotte. Every once in a while, we hear about the brotherhood of the NBA. C-Webb, when you hear that term, what does it mean to you?
It means it's the truth. When I got to the NBA as a rookie, the thing that amazed me the most was that I was already part of a fraternity. There was no having to be kind of welcomed in. You are welcomed in once you're part of the NBA. Guys want to see you do well. Right. Not against them, not against their team, but guys want to see you do well because they know the work, the effort, the sacrifice that it takes to get to this level. And that's a really refreshing feeling, knowing the guys got your best interest as long as it isn't against them that night.
Yeah, great perspective on that topic. And Grant drops them both.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
And Lamb kicks to Zeller. He dishes it to Walker. Pass to Lamb. No good. And they can't put an end to this drought. And so George will bring it up for Oklahoma City. Here in the fourth, they've allowed just 4 points. And again, no good by Oklahoma City.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Well, he did a great job of staying patient, letting the man make his move, and getting right up on the jump shot.
Now here's Lamb. He's covered by Felton. Just 5 to shoot. Lamb passes to Hernangomez, and he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
Now, usually he's a shoot-first guy, but this time Lamb with the instincts and intelligence to set up teammates off the pick and roll.
Schroeder kicks to George. Shoots over Batum. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down. And that's 15 points for George. For Charlotte, they've gotten only 3 of their 9 field goal attempts to go down since the end of the third. Pretty cold down the stretch. Back to Walker. They double him with George. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. Each team has 1 inactive player per night. Would upping that amount, you think, C-Webb, of active players on game day change anything at all?
I don't believe so, because the inactive player we're talking about usually is at the bottom of the roster. And so if you look at the next man up theory, that means that the last guy on the bench at that time, it's his time to get that playing time. So I don't think that the inactive players would change anything, because it's still a team sport, and those guys earn their playing time in practice. And so that guy at the end of the bench is still one of the greatest players in the world and can contribute at any time.
Count it. And that's 23 points for Walker.
And the handling ability of Walker, just a magician with the ball in his hands.
Oklahoma City has gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Here's George. Doesn't go for him. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. Now Batum. And Jeremy Grant picks up the foul. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
And that 4th foul, guys, might force him to scale back the aggression from a defensive standpoint. He does not need, nor does the team need, number 5.
Catching up on the changes for Charlotte. Biombo is checked in for Cody Zeller. Frank Kaminsky comes in for Hernan Gomez. Bacon, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. And Monk's subbed in for Lamb. Here's Monk. Charlotte no good that time either.
Oh, look, he's got to find better looks, or he's never going to pull out that funk he's in tonight.
Here's Aprinas. Good. And a nice assist from Felton.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back threes. The D just seems to be slacking off a little bit.
Walker dishes to Biombo. Back to Walker. C-Web, a big rule change. Defenders have to give jump shooters space to land. Your thoughts on that?
Great. Thank you. Think about if a guy is hot and you can't stop him, you should not be able to embellish with the rules by sliding your foot up under a guy. If we all remember, I believe that San Antonio was up a couple of years ago on Golden State at home in game 1, and Pachulia inadvertently put his foot up under Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi was injured. You have to give shooters space to come down. You can't be thinking about that on the way down. We don't want players injured or hurt in this game because of a lack of paying attention to detail, and I think this rule really helps it. Defenders have done it for years. It could be viewed as dirty, but I'm glad the NBA did something about it. I'm very happy about it. And check this out. I'm going to see a lot of guys knocking down even more threes now.
And Biombo drops them both. Oklahoma City's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. And Patterson kicks to Felton. Grant outside. Oklahoma City moving it around. And stolen by Biombo. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Walker's running. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Walker's got 26.
In that first half, guys, they didn't shoot nearly as many threes as they have here in the second, trying to use that shot to stay in the game.
Grant the pass to Aprinas. The feed now to Felton. Walker with some nice D. And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for the Charlotte Hornets. Here's Bacon, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. C-Web, when you look at how basketball is taught at early levels for these kids, middle school and then high school, anything there that you would change?
Yes, I would change to developing all players and taking away positions.
Interesting.
When you were young and you're in, let's say, 3rd grade and you're the tallest player on the team, and I make you a center and I pull you to one end and I only show you how to make layups. I don't show you how to shoot threes or to dribble. I'm assuming that your body is always going to stay the same. And I believe that coaches should teach great skill set: shooting, passing, dribbling. And when you do that, a player can then become the full player they're intended to be, instead of teaching incrementally where a player may get stuck and identified as this type of player his whole time. I think that really what you need to do is teach full skill sets and allow players to develop. Just think if someone would have said, Kevin Durant, you can only shoot layups. We wouldn't be able to see the true unicorn that he is.
Wonderful thought. Right side, Westbrook. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Westbrook. Chris, coach turnover happens a lot in the NBA. And there are some people that feel that, teams are too quick to make a change. What do you think?
Every situation is different. Sometimes an obvious change is needed, but sometimes it feels more like desperations. Think about it. The best franchises typically have stability, and fans aren't stupid. They know when their team is just trying to throw a worm out there to catch and to see who they can get, or if they're using the past coach as a scapegoat, trying to redirect the emotions of the fans to direct them to cheer for their team further on. But a lot of times, I tell you this, though, coaches getting fired are because the players don't execute and follow through. A lot of times it's not the coach's fault, but usually they have to take the fall, and that's what being the leader is all about. And unfortunately for the coaches, there is quick turnover, but hopefully they can land back on their feet at a new place with another job, with a team that'll listen and let them set the culture.
Good
Gentlemen,
insight.
2 shots. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. Some changes for Charlotte. Kid Gilchrist comes in for Zeller. And Monks subbed in for Lamb. And then for Oklahoma City, Patrick Patterson. He's checked in for Jeremy Grant. Alex Abrinas comes in for Andre Robertson. And it's Felton in for Russell Westbrook. And both free throws good for Paul George. Charlotte has gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. Back to Walker. Chris, in football, you have the franchise tag. It allows a team to keep a superstar by delaying his free agency. Would that work in the NBA?
I'm not sure if that would work in the NBA. It would be what else would reward this player in the franchise tag? Does it allow freedom for other players to come? I think that we're going to have to address some of these issues as time goes on, especially in a place like Golden State where they have so many great players there. But one of the great things about the NBA is the freedom of movement, and I don't think that we've seen really any teams get hurt too bad by the superstar leaving if they've acknowledged he's going to leave and made a trade for him.
Take a break.
It is when that they don't acknowledge, a la Orlando with Shaq, a la a couple of other teams, they don't acknowledge that this guy may leave, that you truly end up with nothing. So I'm not sure about that franchise tag yet, Kevin. The NBA is doing great. Players are moving around, and we're going to need some other teams to combat the dominant team overall.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2.
That's what they want to see from him, attacking, getting whistles, and maybe causing some foul trouble.
Monk's shot's good.
And one of the more underrated elements of his game. This is a guy that's always in control. Love seeing him finish even with the contact.
To the middle. And George kicks to Abrinas. And it's off from three-point range. Well, the Hornets shooting in the fourth quarter has looked shabby, 38%. The shot by Monk is no good.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Well, I'd love to hear his explanation, the coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation. The floater's a tough shot, even when you're that close to the bucket.
Pass to Hernan Gomez. Outside, Walker. No good from outside. Oklahoma City's gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the fourth. Here's Abrinas. Yes, that goes in. Abrinas has got 7 points for the quarter. Charlotte shooting has been wayward so far. Only 37% from the floor. And Walker kicks to Bridges. Chris, we hear the word switchability. popular term used these days. Talk about the importance of having guys who can defend multiple positions.
It's so important because it allows for the flexibility with your matchups. You can avoid being forced into mismatches. So you definitely need players like that. However, Kev, I think that the NBA is going switchability crazy. You shouldn't switch everything. Switching on defense should only be if the coach wants to take a player out the game or if it's just needed at the last second. Usually communication is the key because there are no new plays under the sun. You see the play coming and developing it, and if you can communicate, that's usually when you don't need to switch. I think coaches have lost trust in players' willingness to communicate, and switching has become kind of a lesser of two evils, I guess you could say. And I hope we get away from as much switching as we do because it puts guys in totally wrong positions. And if you have a smart offensive player, he'll pass his way out of that right to the guy with the mismatch.
Your take is real interesting. Down low, Kid Gilchrist with the steal. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Kicks to Bridges, passes it to Walker. Clock at 6. There's the three. Hands it from downtown. Walker's got a couple of three-pointers now in the fourth for the Hornets.
Oh, such a skilled sniper from deep. I love seeing Walker pull the trigger with confidence.
Back to Patterson.
Oh, that's a nice look, recognizing he had the opening to make the entry pass.
And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for the Charlotte Hornets. He kicks to Monk. A three ball. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. George has got his 5th rebound in this one.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Thunder.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Russell Westbrook.
He had those defenders shaking their heads. There were times when they thought they had a handle on him. And then just like that, he'd go off on another tear.
Walker against Felton. And Walker kicks to Monk. And that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession. "20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Biombo. And it's Noel with the rebound. And here is Felton. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
And that's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone.